Reporters, journalists, and pundits have all now declared that there are just 3 candidates remaining for the GOP nomination who are viable. Those would be Mitt Romney, Rick Perry, and Michelle Bachmann. Let's see how all of this comports with our data. Of course, all of this came after the tumultuous weekend where we had the Iowa straw poll. We had Governor Rick Perry of Texas jumping into the race and former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty jumping out of the race. Well, the one anomaly in our data would be Herman Cain, because the former CEO of Godfather's Pizza and Georgia businessman scores very high on our positive intensity scale. He's not very well known. Less than half of Republicans know him, but he does very, very well on our scale. People really like him, but so far he's not been able to translate that into votes in the Iowa straw poll, or when we give Republicans a long list of candidates, he doesn't score very high on our trial heat measures. But Cain still is up there on our list of candidates based on positive intensity. Bachmann and Perry, they're very high on that list as well. So, as we would expect, given how well they have done, at least in terms of the court of journalism, they're both generating a lot of enthusiasm for people who know them. Romney's another bit of an anomaly. He does not have a high positive intensity score. That means that although he's very well known, people who know Mitt Romney don't feel strongly about him. That may be a problem for Mitt Romney, although when we give Republicans a trial heat that is a list of candidates, Romney scores very well, and that's why you would include him in that list of front runners. So I would say, based on our data, indeed Romney, Bachmann, and Perry are up there among our front runners. Also, I would put Herman Cain as a possibility, but so far, as mentioned, he's not been able to do much based on trial heats or in the real world. Tim Pawlenty jumped out of the race, and of course that was no surprise to us. His positive intensity score has been in single digits. He simply hasn't been able to generate much enthusiasm at all from Republicans nationwide, so not a great shock that he's going to jump out. What about John Huntsman, former governor of Utah? People thought he might be a strong candidate, but so far, like Pawlenty, he has positive intensity scores just in the single digits and doesn't look like he's going much of anywhere. One note about Rick Perry, he comes in now with a 59% recognition score among Republicans. That's fairly low, quite a bit lower than Bachmann or Mitt Romney. So Perry has, shall we say, room to grow among Republicans. And a big question for Perry will be whether or not, as he becomes better known, he is still liked as intensely as he is now, or if, as happened to candidates like Tim Pawlenty and Newt Gingrich, he gets less well-liked as he becomes better known. That'll be one of the key things that we will be following in the weeks ahead as Perry, now an announced candidate, gets out there and really begins to campaign intensely. That's our latest update on the race for the GOP nomination. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.